to read music, as you get into more and more complex songs, what'll start to happen is you'll come across music that is in different keys. Now this whole concept can be a little confusing when you're just starting out. So in today's lesson, I'm going to explain it in simple terms, and we're going to use the smallest possible elements to allow us to play in a new key. We're continuing to build right on top of everything we've learned so far. So if you feel lost with anything you see today, my channel has all of the context that you might be missing. Go all the way back to lesson 1 if you're starting from scratch and use my play along course to learn how to read music on the guitar. You can get the PDF that goes along with this series absolutely for free. That's down in the description. And today we're going to be checking out page 15. So here are all the notes that we've learned so far on the guitar. And again, go back and check out some previous episodes if you need help with these. These are all what we would call natural notes. And they're all labeled simply with all the letters that we use in music. You can see we've used all of them, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The natural notes are all in the key of C. You can think of this as meaning they all sound good together when you perceive C as home. Now the musical term that we give to this sense of home is tonic. And there are many reasons why we might want to move the tonic somewhere other than C. For one example, singers will often move the tonic, or in other words, change the key of a song if it's a little bit too high or too low for their vocal range. Whenever we want to change keys outside of the key of C, we're going to have to use some of these hidden, unlabeled notes. And we will do that with accidentals. There are 3 types of accidental symbols: the sharp, the flat, and the natural sign. But for today, we're just going to focus on the sharp. Here's how it works. The box at the center of the sharp will enclose either a line or a space. And whatever note sits on that spot gets turned into a sharp. So a sharp on the bottom space here will turn an F into an F sharp. Same thing here. A sharp on the top line also makes an F sharp. But what does that mean, right? What does the sharp actually do? For guitarists, it's very simple. A sharp will just move a note up a half step, or in other words, up 1 fret. Here's F, and here is F sharp, simply 1 fret higher. And then same thing down here. Here's our normal spot for F, and we have to use our pinky to make F sharp. Here's where it gets really cool. If we use all natural notes except for Fs, and we turn all those Fs into F sharps, that gives us the key of G. If we take all the notes in the key of G and lay them out in a chain like this is what we call a G major scale. Count them up with me. It goes G, A, B, C, D, E, then the oddball F sharp, and G. G major scale. I like to practice my scales in this really particular rhythmic way. Look it over for a second and then give it a try. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again. One more time. Now, if we were going to read a piece of music that we knew was in the key of G, you could imagine it might get a little cluttered on the page if every single F was marked with a sharp. So instead, what they do is they will move the sharps to the very beginning of the piece of music. This is called a key signature. And it just lets us know right before we start reading, hey, every F in this whole song is sharp. And as I said before, all natural notes but an F sharp makes the key of G. And this is another habit we've got to start forming. Every time we play a new song, yeah, you check the time signature to be sure of how many beats are going to be in each measure, but you also check the key signature. And it's a great idea to check just to see where all the sharp notes are going to be. Let's give it a try. Sight read this song with me in the key of G. Remember, every time we see an F, really, we're going to have to play an F sharp. Set your inner beat. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. repeat sign. Here we go again. Gosh, I love that song. If you don't recognize it, it's called Goodnight Irene. And if you've never heard it, you should really check out Leadbelly's version. I think most people would agree he's got the definitive recording of Goodnight Irene. And now, for something completely different, here is a very famous piece of music that I'm sure you've all heard before, at least. This is called the Minuet in G. So of course we had to include it in the video about the key of G. After I check my key signature, I like to just scan through the piece of music and see if I can locate all of the F sharps that I'm going to need to play in this one. Now, I always thought this piece was written by Johann Sebastian Bach, and I think that's a pretty common misconception. Turns out musicologists actually think it was written by a composer called Christian Petzold. Who knew? I had never heard of him until I found that out just this week. At any rate, hopefully that's enough yapping for you to have a head start on the first few notes. Set your inner beat, and let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Great job! Now rewind, give yourself plenty of tries on these ones to get used to the new F sharps. We're going to learn a lot more about sharps and other accidentals in different keys in the next couple of episodes, so really try your best to perfect these two. Shoot me a comment down below if you got any questions. Subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson, and I will see you real soon.